I'm long the ES 4450 here, trying to get a little push above these short-term sellers here. And we did break new highs here, and we have a little bit of supply, but this pivot zone right here looks like we can push up, and I'm just going to go try to get up into the 4250 area for a little squirt above that. Took a loss down here below the spike below here into this LVN, so I'm just going to wait and watch and see what happens when we approach this LVN and see if we can push back above this volume for the reversal. These were the short-term sellers that I was looking to get squeezed out, and it's actually the opposite happened, so I'm just going to wait and see what happens in this area. Long again, 42.25. Increase in volume here, coming back down into this LVN. I was definitely a little bit early on that last trade. This looks like this might have been just kind of a shakeout to pull in some late shorts, and I'm going to look for this to break the overnight highs and back up into the 4250 area. This is the issue with trying to anticipate trades before they actually happen. I tend to be a little bit early sometimes, and it ends up in some smaller losses, and I could definitely improve to wait on some of these things. But now we definitely do have short-term sellers coming in here, limit buying coming in down here, and an area up here that I feel like it's likely to break. Next area that we need to hold is these short-term sellers. So unless we get new selling coming in here, I think this has a pretty good chance to go up through the highs, or at least up into this higher volume high here. That would be the safe target into the 48 area, but I think we are likely to break 630 is going to be an area where we may have some increased volatility and volume. So I'm going to watch that real close and see what happens in the next few minutes. If we do hold this short-term range here, I'll be looking to lock in a few points. I'll lock in 2 here now and see if we can get this final push up. Volume's not getting crazy, really coming in too much here, so just got to get a little lucky, and we're definitely seeing some increased volume coming in here now. This last push is a real good sign. Now we just need to look to take out this liquidity, sellers here, and last sellers here. $6.29, so not real sure what's going to happen here on this, if we do have any news coming in, but it's looking real good. Got some volume on the dome at 42.50 even. See if that can trade. Structure's looking real good for upside. Got less than a minute till 6:30. I'd really like to see this go and not get spiked out on any move down, but and let's see what happens here. 48.50 traded. 49 looks like that's going to trade. Just need one final push. Not really seeing much real increase in volume yet, but it's a fine line and not choking this trade out and giving it a little bit of space, but I'm going to lock in 4 points here. And I got taken out for 4 points. Unfortunately, it looks like on a small pullback I got taken out for the 4 points, and this area is where I would have wanted it to hold, and that's the push right there. So that's unfortunate, but better to take some profit there. And there's my target, the 50.75. All that traded, so decent trade, but could have been managed better. Also, just like to comment on my first trade in this area. This really wasn't any strong price other than it low ticked here, but no increase in volume, nothing really to give me any clues that we were going to reverse until this happened. So being a little anxious and jumping the trade early before really getting what I needed to see and thinking that I'm going to miss the trade in this area caused me to take a loss in this spike down. And this is what I see over and over again, is that I need to be patient and wait for what I want to see before executing the trade, because this is really the key, showing that potentially we're taking this liquidity through here and back into this LVN, and then likely to spike and push through these highs again. So that's how the big traders play. And unfortunately, I gave my long order to the limit buyers that were going to spike this out and move higher, to take out the shorts before moving higher. So where did price go? What I was watching is this is a major pivot in this area. We're stuck below this very large range here. So this is a crucial area for the ES to see if we are going to hold this area and push back up into this value in this range, or are we going to find sellers? And this is definitely an area where I would expect to see sellers. And we found big limit selling in here from yesterday's trade, Tuesday. So, and then back right up into this wide LVN anywhere where we have this untested supply. So not getting too aggressive in through here, but you can see this is exactly where the space ran out. So 53 on a higher time frame on the 15-minute would have been a great target as well. But trading right around those round numbers at 50, there's typically going to be a reaction. We did push up into the 55.25, but would have been a much better exit and some 13 points above my original entry. But so taking a little over 4 points instead of my 7-point target. So sticking to my plan is a good lesson on this one. Another possible entry would have been the push above this short-term range when these shorts from here were actually trapped. But then you have to deal with the fact that this liquidity is already taken out and you're likely to have this pullback anyway. So the way that I saw it is that it's better to be in down here at my 42 entry, anticipating this break, take out the liquidity, and then you have to sit through that pullback anyway. So I felt that was a worthwhile risk. I'm actually taking a short here already. We have a little bit of issue in that we had this demand area coming in here, but now we're holding this structure. We have these shorts, these longs, these late longs here trapped, all these late longs here trapped, and looking to come down and take out. We have a lot of weakness to the left here. We could really see price all the way back down to the 42.25 if it can go. But we are seeing a little bit of increased volume here now. So potential to be on the wrong side of this one if we can't hold this volume here in this little kind of LVN area right here. This is a make or break for this trade in my opinion. Let's see if we can hold this area now and push down and flush these areas. We definitely have a little bit increased demand coming in here, a little bit of limit buying coming in. So Now we just wait and see if the idea plays out. Have volume coming in a decent area here. This needs to hold now and take out these last buyers. But I'm definitely a little early on this trade, but so I shorted 44.25 right in this area with an expectation that we would push down, and then we came in back up to this area, which is an expected move back up to where this last little area of buyers was, and took me out at 45.75 above these highs, and then we pushed down. We had this small supply drop, and now we are going to be challenging these last buyers, this range that took us all the way up through the highs. So my expectation is that these longs will be pushed out of the market, and we still have a lot of potential for to the short side, in my opinion. So that idea is still playing out, and I just don't really have any way into the trade at this point. Maybe if we spike higher and hold that area, but that same trade now I have about 5 points of equity in there and tons of potential to the downside. A great example of being right context read wise. Read of the auction is correct, but the trade management was not ideal. So definitely after this push down here and he'll hold in this area, a re-entry around this 43.50 area makes sense, but we still have to get past these buyers from this push up. My target on this trade would have been down here at 26, a long way to go. So that's some 18 points below my entry, and it's working out really nicely at 36.50 right now. So that's 8 points. And now I just got to kind of sit and watch it. There's no way really for me to enter anymore. And now we've taken out these buyers. So this liquidity has been taken, and technically we can have, I mean, I just see all this as weakness. None of this is real strong buying in here. So possibly down into the 27, this low tick area. But if we hold this area here from below, which would be my expectation, we definitely have the potential for the downside. So this is a crucial area. If we pop above this area, then the short trade may not be valid anymore, but it looks like in the short term it's holding here. So I would be looking to manage here in this area and for the further move down. Had a long order in here at 49.50, and right here it missed me by a tick, and then when it pushed up I pulled my order, but this was more of just kind of a short-term scalp to move up into the LVN here at 55.50. Trade ideas looked real solid, kind of close to the open, but other than that, it was good for 6 points or so. I didn't get a chance to record it, but I took a loss here at 928, holding this structure here. This guy, these last sellers here that push down, take out this liquidity, and then the imbalance up. And then we came back here, tested this area, and 928 right here, I took a loss. It was a little early. I got spiked out on this one, and then I bought right at 60 right here, put in some volume, and went up and never really came back. So 13 points on that one, and great exit, one tick from the high. So beautiful trade, one of my better ES trades. I'm trying to figure out how I can avoid the loss that I took on that one. It seems that I tend to be too early sometimes. I still have the idea, the context, the management right on the winner, but And what it looks like to me is that there was no real increase in volume when we tested back down here until the 929. I entered at 931 right here and had the real small pullback, almost no drawdown, 2 ticks of drawdown. And so we had this tested deeper down into the LVN on increased volume and push back up. And so I entered here at 931 intrabar on this one. So